The psychology of lying. What happens in your brain when you lie? Did you know that the average person lies 3 times in just 10 minutes of conversation? Crazy, right? But here's the real question. Why do we lie, and what happens inside our brain when we do? Your brain actually doesn't see lying as evil. It sees it as a survival strategy. From early childhood, we learn to bend the truth, first to avoid punishment, later to protect someone's feelings, and sometimes to protect ourselves. When you lie, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, goes into overdrive. It creates a story, checks if it sounds logical, and predicts how the listener might react. At the same time, your amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, feels the stress of lying, that little wave of guilt, fear, or anxiety. That's why your heart rate rises, your pupils dilate, and your palms may sweat. But here's where it gets fascinating. The more you lie, the easier it becomes. Neuroscientists discovered that with every lie, the amygdala's emotional response weakens. In other words, your brain starts to adapt. What once felt uncomfortable now feels normal. That's how small white lies can grow into big ones. It's literally the same brain mechanism that helps us build tolerance to pain. But here, it builds tolerance to guilt. For some people, lying turns into a psychological habit. They lie not to gain something, but because their brain connects it with safety and control. Each successful lie releases a small hit of dopamine, the same chemical that makes us feel rewarded. So the next time they're in a tough spot, their brain says, "Lie again, it worked last time." That's why compulsive liars often believe their own stories. The brain rewires memory to fit the lie, blurring the line between truth and fiction. So, can we really detect a lie? Sometimes yes, but not always. There's no universal sign. Micro-expressions, delayed answers, unnecessary details, they can all be signs, or not. But one thing is certain, lying takes more mental energy than telling the truth. So when someone's story sounds perfect, but their brain seems tired, that's your clue. The psychology of lying isn't just about deception, it's about survival, emotion, and identity. We lie to others, we lie to ourselves, and sometimes we lie just to keep our world from falling apart. So maybe the real question isn't, why do we lie, but what truth are we too afraid to tell? If you found this mind-blowing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Because next time, we'll explore how your brain falls in love and why it feels exactly like an addiction.